We're going to be making a very super simple card using the items from the Heirloom arrangement kits. Let's take a look to see the items that we're going to be using. I have some pecan pie, and that is the ink that we're going to be using for this, and this is going to be stamped with our sentiment. I'm going to be taking a sentiment from the stamp set from here. In your pack, you're looking for some of the ephemera packs, and this one is particularly, we're looking for one that is in the vellum. You notice that this nice long flower here, we want to take that one out. Be very careful with popping out the vellum that you don't rip it. So we have this piece that is the piece of vellum, and we want this one that curls a little bit on the side here. This kind of got a little bit of curl on it. We're going to be taking this one. Carefully pop him out. The card base color we're going to be using is this beautiful little blue card base, and we're just going to fold that in half, just like that. And it's going to be portrait, which means it's going to be up and down. In the ephemera packs, we're going to be looking for one that has like a little tag that is in black. This one in particular, and you'll notice that there is a nice space right here to stamp a sentiment. One of the other ephemeras is we're looking for the one that has like a tag, and it has some of these little red flowers on it. We're going to pop that out, and you're going to see the shape that this has. Just be careful as you pop these guys out of the ephemera pack so that you do not rip them. So this has a really nice shape to it. We can see it on the corners on here are in, and it looks really nice. Let's bring in our card base, and I'm going to assemble it so you can see what it's going to look like. I have this ephemera piece placed on top right here on the card base. What I want to do is I'm going to take those pieces of vellum, and all I'm going to do is pop it over here. I really want to tuck it behind, so I'm going to lay it down and place it there. And I have this piece of vellum, and this is curling one way. All I have to do is just turn it over, and I'm going to curl it the other way. Now, because it's going to be hiding behind this piece here, I can actually cut those pieces that are hiding behind. I can cut them off and maybe use them for somewhere else. So I'm going to take a look. I've laid this down, and I'm going to take my tag, and the tag is going to go across right about there near the bottom, and I'm going to be stamping a sentiment. So this leaves a little space here, so I'm going to use some of the leaves that I'm going to cut off so I can see where they are. So they're going to hold them on like that. I'm going to move them, and I'm just going to take my scissors and cut a little bit off. And I'm going to move those over. Now, I don't want these ones to move, so let's go back. Because they shifted a little bit, I'm going to double check and place them on again. I'm going to lay it on, kind of on an angle. Hide it behind. So there we go, just like that. And all I'm going to do is place a little glue dot right there. You know what? Instead of a glue dot, let's work with a dimensional. Let's give this some height. Now, it did slip a little bit as I moved, but I do know that they both end right about there. So let's put a little dimensional on top just to hold it. Because this is vellum, I can flip it over and the image will be just exactly the same. And I'm going to tuck that underneath, and I'm going to have it lower, a little lower down, because this portion is going to be hidden by that tag. Let's get a piece of dimensional and add it. Just hold it on there. Same like this little piece. I don't want to lose this. I don't want to throw it out. Let's just add him on top too. If you want, you can always trim up a little bit to make it so it kind of blends in. Let's get our piece that goes on top. So that is that tag. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to add some dimensionals. Where that tag is going to land. And I'm going to place that on top. Okay. Just like that. So those pieces of vellum are actually hiding behind this little piece, and you can see some of those leftovers are peeking out. That one didn't make it, so that's okay. So that is fairly placed together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp a sentiment right here in pecan pie. I'm going to look at the different sentiments that I have, and I want one that fits in, and I think this one, Thankful and Grateful, will fit in really nicely. To see if that's the sentiment you want to use, you can just place it on top. And I think that's going to look really good. Let's get that on our block and stamp it in pecan pie. And I'm just going to look through the stamp, and I'm going to stamp straight up and down. That looks really good. That turned out so nice. It fills the space really nicely. Now, we can just add this on just by itself, but if you want and you have some extra ribbon, which is like that gold, we can always add some of that on top. And let's do that and add some of that on there. What I'm going to do is actually take this piece and cut it in half, and I'm going to be folding it over and tucking it behind. So I'm going to be adding it with some dimensionals, and I'm going to be crunching it up a little bit so it fits on to, just kind of hides behind that little tag. When you use dimensionals, make sure that you press through the ribbon. Now you could use whatever ribbon you like, but I don't know, I just love this gold weave. I think it works so well with so many things. So I'm pressing it into the gold weave. I'm kind of crunching it because I want it to not go longer, like widthwise, than the tag. I'm going to place that on there, flip it over, and just pop it on. Now, it is optional. You can use dimensionals, embellishments that you have. I'm just going to use some that I have left over, and I'm just going to pop them on there. There's no right or wrong spot to place your embellishments. They can go wherever you like. There we go. That is like a super simple card, just using up some of the items. I just love that and think it looks absolutely fantastic.